Welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. First off, folks, I just want to apologize for last week there. I wasn't feeling the greatest on the Sunday, and then I just didn't feel like doing a video for the rest of the week, so I do apologize, but we're back now with another episode here. So this time we're going to be talking about the Transporter series featuring Jason Statham. So Transporter 1, Transporter 2, and the Transporter 3. So, the Transporter, besides starring Jason Statham as Frank Martin, also stars Shu Q, or Key, as Lai, Francis Berlind as Inspector Tarconi, Matt Schultz as Wall Street, Rick Young as Mr. Kwai. And I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this one. So the first Transporter is from 2002. So hard to believe this was 23 years ago. This movie came out. I can remember like it came out just yesterday. The first movie just kind of introduces you to Jason Statham's Frank Martin's character. Basically, it is what it is. He's a transporter. He's someone who you pay to transport packages for unknown clients. No questions asked. Like, he's got rule, no names, no questions asked, never open the package. He follows the rules pretty much to a T, except on this particular occasion, he opens the package to find out it's the daughter of a well-known criminal, and because of that, he gets in bad with the guys that were asked him to transport it, because they know he opened the package. They try to kill him, and he goes about trying to both rescue her and also get to the bottom of what's going on. Comes to find out that they are smuggling people illegally from China in shipping containers. So the first one, I think it takes place in France. It's well action packed, but it's got a simple but effective storyline, easy to follow. It's just a really great action movie. And then number 2 is from 2005, and number 3 is from 2008. So the Transporter 2. Basically, in my opinion, Transporter. It's very close between Transporter 1 and Transporter 2, but I like Transporter 2 the best, just by a slim margin. You've got the storyline. It's the only one of the 3 that takes place in the States. So you've got, obviously, Jason Statham as Frank Martin. You've got Alessandro Gassman as Gianni Cellini, Amber Valletta as Audrey Billings, Kate Nauta as Lola, Matthew Modine as Jefferson Billings, Jason Fleming as Dimitri, Keith David as Stapleton, and Hunter Clay as Jack Billings. Of course, Francois Berlind revised his role as Inspector Tarconi. And I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this one. So basically, number 2, Frank, since his business has kind of gone astray in France, with what happened from the first movie. I guess he's trying to make a different living in the second movie. He's filling in for a guy as a driver/security guard for a wealthy family. The father of which has something to do with, not really 100% sure exactly, but, it's some kind of government position that bad guys want him out of the picture. I think it might have to do with drugs. It has to do with drugs. They want him out of the picture, basically, in order for them to do their business. Mostly in Colombia. So they hire this guy to infect his son with a deadly virus that will therefore infect him and all these other politicians that have to do with, holding up the drug trade in Colombia. And Frank, of course, gets wrapped up in it, trying to protect Jack, the son, from these bad guys. It's the most intriguing and action-packed storyline. The villains, I find, are a little more in depth than the first one. A bit more of a story to them. They're a bit more ferocious and formidable opponents to some extent. And like I said, it's the only one where he's technically not doing a transporter gig. He's just, a driver, being a regular driver, and gets caught up in all of this. Again, great simple storyline. Really, great action sequences. Just a really fun watch. And then number 3, like I said, from 2008, is it's the worst one of the 3, but it's not a bad movie. It's just, in my opinion, of the 3, it's the least interesting. But doesn't mean it's still not a good watch. So obviously, Jason Statham is back as Frank Martin, the Transporter. This time it looks like he's back in France. It's hard to tell exactly where he's based in this movie. By the way, the second movie, it's in the States. It takes place in Miami. And then, you got Frank Martin as Jason Statham as Frank Martin. Robert Nepper is Johnson. You've got Natalia Rudakova, is Valentina. Francois Berlin again as Tarconi. Jeroen Krab as Leonid Vasiliev. And I think that's pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this one. So the basis of this one is Frank is kind of living off the grid. He's not really doing much transporting. Trying to kind of keep to himself. He's asked to do a job for some bad guys. He declines and recommends someone to take his place. Well, the guy who takes his place botches the job and ends up getting Frank roped in. The job is to, basically transport this kidnapped daughter of this politician to a specific place until the bad guys can get her father, who's a politician, to sign these documents to allow environmental waste to come into the country. So basically, in order to keep Frank doing the job, they've wired an explosive but there's an explosive bracelet on his wrist that's wired to the car, so that if he gets a certain distance from the car, it explodes. Same with the daughter that he's tasked with transporting, Valentina. And once again, he's determined to come to her rescue, and they actually fall in love in the end. Again, great simple storyline. Really great action sequences, just an all-around great movie, and the great trilogy. If you've never seen the Transporter movies, I highly recommend checking them out. You will not be disappointed, all right? That's all we have for you this week, folks. We'll catch you next week for another episode.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.